This is our
outside in the park
for Saturday class.
Okay.
The audio system pooped out, so unfortunately a lot of the prior stuff really focused on the boken was difficult to follow. So I edited that out, and I am currently recording a soundtrack. And so what we're doing here is going through movement by movement, the 30 movement misogi-gyo for spear and staff. And so what we're doing here initially, we'll be leading the group that was present, and that group will go through with me the movements 1 through 30. As that continues, what we'll do is go into other levels. Okay, so the level 1 is just going through the movements, learning the movements. Now, we do certify a couple of people today, which was very nice to see. We had Steve Tsao Sensei step forward and lead the class in 30 movements. Being certified means you can lead a class. A lot of times you can follow the movements by being in a group, but the certification is when you can lead a class on your own. And also Cliff Winnig, who's one of the regulars at the noontime Zoom classes. And this is significant because he's not a Yudansha, not a black belt. You do not have to be a black belt to get certified. And he did a beautiful job. And what I also had is 2 teachers, Erich Concepcion Sensei and David Eve Sensei, who I have certified in the 30 movements. I've had them lead. Okay, so they set the example. And again, the certification is where Steve Sensei and also later Cliff, they can lead the class. They don't follow the class or follow the instructor. Now, eventually what we can do is we can do this online where I can spotlight somebody who is being examined, and I can follow what they do, and they can lead the online group. So this doesn't have to be at the park, although it does help to actually have a physical presence as opposed to an online presence. A couple of things that we also go into. The level 1 is being able to do the 30 movements, to lead and do the 30 movements, not follow the 30 movements. And you can do that at any rank. Level 2, which we go through later, is where the 30 movements, 1 through 30, are done as one movement. Level 3, and the first part of the class was boken, wooden sword. And we focused on the closing motion. And level 3 is when you can do that closing, focusing motion in all 30 movements. Oftentimes, when there is a set or a kata, which I don't consider this to be a kata, that's how it starts. You focus, But in doing that, you cut the movements up. Here, level 1, 30 movements. Level 2, 30 movements done as one movement. Level 3, each of the 30 movements has that focusing, that closing feeling in the bookend. Level 4 may seem like level 2, but what level 4 is to be able to go 1 through 30 in one closing motion. So I have no idea how quickly the certifications will go. Level 2 is not just learning level 1 better. There's a sense where level 1, sort of, I know the movements. But level 2 is being able to execute all 30 movements as one. So it's the beginnings of what you call flow. Level 3, the ability to focus on each movement, bring it into being with focus and vitality. And level 4 is where the whole set of 30 is done as part of one focusing, one closing motion. We'll just have to see how quickly people pick this up. Most anybody can do the 30 movements as level 1. It's going to take some, what I call some development, some inner development to go from level 1 to 2, and more to go from 2 to 3. And the last one is the most difficult. So of course the movements themselves in their sequence don't change, but he or she who is executing the movements, there are different stages of development. That's what makes it a misogi, not a kata. So we're continuing to go. As I said, I'm doing the track here, and for whatever reason, I can't record the track when the video is playing, so I'm giving commentary. I don't know that it'll sync up all that well. And one of the things that we haven't come up with a certification for it, but the last 10 movements, 21 through 30, they include things like what I call the center circle water fire changes. And they allow you to segue into a level which is not among the 1 through 4 certifications, which my term for it is the takemusu level. And those last 10 movements are to kind of give you a preview. Now that has a sequence, but the takemusu level is where everything is in the moment. A moment is not about a long or short period of time. A moment is a moment. And every moment is a moment of creation. And when you can go from moment to moment to moment, in each of those moments, the staff movements for takemusu, they are creations in that moment. And it's not about just learning a sequence of movements that you can replicate 4 or 5 different sequences, but it's really being able to give birth to that. And so we allude to that a little bit towards the end. But the last 10 movements designed to give you a preview, a feel of the takemusu dimension. And at that particular level, it's not so much I'm doing movements, it's more like you're transparent. And the movements are like a hologram moving through you. So that's what we are currently trying to put into effect as a curriculum. Due to the pandemic, we don't have Q exams. We really, outside of the weekend class on Saturday, they don't have group classes other than virtual classes online. So we don't have the Q exams and the Don tests to kind of spur us on to prepare for our next level. And so we're doing this, and in its own way, it's challenging to actually learn something new, pick up something new. Now, the levels 1 through 4 give you form, they give you a sense of continuity, flow, focus, and that last third of it, that last 10 movement sequence, gives you the beginnings of the takemusu dimension. So this is probably not going to sync up because for whatever reason I can't play the video and create the soundtrack. So I'm creating the soundtrack. So this is not going to sync up, but I also kind of explained the format of this last part. Okay.